Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Real Crypto Live. And I don't have anyone on chat, so I'm actually curious if I am live. Oh, you know why? It's set to private, huh? Yeah. Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. What's up, guys? Long time no chat. I thought about doing a video, said to myself, I'll just go live for a little bit. See what everyone's doing. Patham, you are first. Congratulations. Christina, you're second. It means you're the first loser. Nick, hello. Hello, hello. Simon, how you doing, buddy? What's up, Christina? Phil K. Vargas. What's up, guys? Man, you guys enjoying your extraordinarily slowly dying Bitcoin market? I will say it's interesting. Mohammed, good morning, afternoon, evening, all that stuff. Let's do this Crypto Crash 2019. Yeah, I think we'll get there. I think we will finally get there. Oh, Nick's buying a little bit of Bitcoin paycheck to paycheck. I'll talk a little bit about that, Nick, now that you mentioned that. We talked about that, I don't know, a couple months ago. It's been probably a few weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month, about the best way to kind of dollar cost average your Bitcoin from here on down. I guess I can do it right now. That actually brings up a good point, because I know there are a lot of people doing that, and I think that's a pretty good way to get your Bitcoin in here. I have a slightly different spin on that, however. I think you layer your orders down per level, whether it be $250, $500, whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter. But if the market gets really choppy, like around this, let's go to the daily chart. It's probably better on the daily chart. I think that, if you've been dollar cost averaging throughout this entire area here, your average is going to be about this, let's just call it 3688, 3700, right? And then all of a sudden you get a big drop. Well, your average is stuck way up here. What if instead you take that money and put orders in the market at certain price points on the way down, and all you do is you adjust those positions every paycheck, because you're going to have to increase those orders. So let's say you put in $200 a paycheck. Let's just say you go ahead and you have, I don't know, 4 orders. You up everything by $25 or $50, every order by $50 on the way down. That way your average cost is the average price versus the average time. Otherwise, if we go sideways for the next 2 months and hit this trend line over here, and then we drop really quickly, let's just say in 2014 it dropped in 2 days, you may never get that low fill. You may never get what you're looking for. So I think you should probably do it in that way. You should take the money, put it in the exchange, and then adjust those limit orders on the way down. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Alex is asking, is the market ever coming back? Well, it doesn't feel like it, does it? It kind of feels boring. I mean, in my Slack chat, when we're talking a lot about stocks these days, stocks have been on a tear since that bear market ended, and today being an interesting day, but even this one came back. So, we've been talking a lot about stocks. Crypto's pretty boring. We had a little mini altcoin bull market a few weeks ago. We talked about that, caught a couple of trades out of that one. And just today, just this morning, as a matter of fact, doing the newsletter, it looks like we may be on the cusp of another potential mini alt run. We already had 1 or 2, rip roaring higher. Let's see what they're doing now. There was a name earlier that was up like 50% towards the bottom here. Yeah, VTC, now it's up 65, so it looks like it's rallied a little bit. This one kind of popped out of nowhere. We put the alert level on this on the 2nd, and, you know, you never know when they're going to pop, and you never know how much they're going to pop. This one just happened to really lean into it and continue higher. So this one up 65%, a couple others up 10+%. So kind of a little mini bull run. AST up 17%. This thing triggered alerts earlier today. I don't remember where our alert level was here. It's not showing up on this chart, but up 16%. So we're seeing a little bit of movement in the altcoins. So it's much more fun to play the altcoins and then maybe move that into Tether to protect your BTC percentages. And then as the market finally starts to capitulate, then you can end up buying your Bitcoin back at much lower prices. So, and some of these you're able to sell into USD, some you have to sell into Bitcoin. I would still, let's say you made 15% against Bitcoin, I would eat the fees and still move it to Tether. That's the way I'm viewing things right now. Yeah, and Monkeytron's shorting, he's doing short scalping with very wide stops. You have to have wide stops here. We were talking about that today. The ranges are getting so narrow that if you put something over what it should be a technical support or resistance point, depending on which way you're trading, you're getting shaken out no matter what. You're getting shaken out. So you just have to have wider stops. And BTC and Ethereum both have been pretty quiet relatively. We had a drop recently. We had a rising channel. We turned into a volatility funnel here, and so we went ahead and threw some alert levels. And it broke below our lower alert level. Actually broke above both. Actually broke above and then broke below. And then since then, there hasn't been a tremendous amount of popping in BTC. Overall, you can back out, and we've just been, ever since we tried to break out from this inverted cup with head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders pattern, just really didn't move and just started meandering lower. Lots of red volume. You see my volume aggregation tool, not a lot of green pops. More red than green. There's been, a little bit of red here and there. What's up, Eduardo? Zizo's got a question. Russia, China is buying lots of gold. If we go back to the gold standard, would that kill BTC and crypto? Well, first of all, we're not going back to the gold standard. That's not going to happen. There's too much money in the ecosystem for the U.S. at least in order to facilitate that. It's just impossible at this stage. Yeah, I don't know why Russia and China are hoarding gold. It does kind of make sense if you're a nation state. If you don't believe in the U.S.'s ability to maintain its dominance, then it does make sense for you to take a position in gold. That really would be your only other global store of value, other than maybe Bitcoin. But governments aren't accumulating Bitcoin. You see the price of BTC in the frickin' tens of thousands right now if they were accumulating. But no, I don't think we're going in the gold standard, and much ado about nothing, in my opinion. Much ado about nothing. But yeah, so something else we've been discussing a little bit is that Bitcoin maybe just rolls lower. BTC from here has been so weak. We could come down, and if we don't bounce off of this level down here, this ultimate low as of recently, and bounce off of that, if we don't do that, we could just meander into new lower prices, which could potentially put capitulation at our doorstep, which is something everybody's been waiting for, and looks like a lot of people have left the market and probably won't be able to see that. But that's how the cookie crumbles. You guys that are still here, ready and willing to trade and watch the market, you guys will benefit from that. Everyone else, I used to call them fake hodlers. Apparently there's some fake traders out there as well that have left the market and can't deal with it or don't want to deal with it. And I think that's a shame. And they'll go ahead and regret it over time. In my opinion, they will say, I should have stayed with the market. I did the exact same thing in 2013. I traded the parabolic run in 2013, sold out at a really good price, told myself not to forget the markets. I forgot about it. So unfortunately, a lot of people are going to fall into that category. They'll probably come back a little sooner than I did, however, because of the way that the media has latched on to Bitcoin. But it's probably going to take another drop before it heads higher, for sure. Is it better to roll over slowly or capitulate violently? Well, so out of this base, it doesn't really matter. The ultimate capitulation is going to be violent. That's the nature of capitulation, is the violence. Yeah, that's the nature of capitulation. It happens very quickly and at very low prices generally, especially in these markets. We've seen it in crypto time and time and time and time again over many different assets. Doesn't not even necessarily just Bitcoin. We've seen it in Ethereum. You've seen it in Litecoin. You've seen it in all kinds of small cryptos during their moves. You see, big capitulation moves. Doesn't always have to happen that way, but with Bitcoin being Big Daddy Bitcoin that it is, all the eyeballs are on it, and so as it gets lower, more and more people are going to sell. That's really what starts capitulation. And I think that's what you're starting to notice here a little bit is lack of support, lack of buying in these markets. The professionals, I think they have the same inclination that I do, that we're headed lower. They're not willing to take positions as of yet because they know they're going to get sold into if they go ahead and buy those positions. They're going to wait for everyone else to sell before they buy, which is really what capitulation is. Willie Waterbug asks, do you think if it goes to new lows, it has a chance to accumulate? Is hold still smart now? Well, what's up, Eli? So I think that depends on your strategy, Willie, to be quite honest with you. There's some people that don't have the inclination or the mindset to buy a bottom like that, to buy a capitulation. And for those people, I definitely think it's probably best just to dollar cost average in. And like I talked about at the beginning of the stream, it's probably better to do so on the way down than through time. What I mean by that is that instead of buying every 2 weeks or so, like when you get paid, take that money, put it in the exchange, and have an order at 4,000, 3,750, 3,500, 3,250, 3,000, 2,750, whatever your denomination of order is going to be while we're lower. You should go ahead and adjust those levels in terms of how much capital you now have. Because let's say you did that, you would have already bought down to 3,250. Let's just say you were doing $250 increments. So you already bought at 3,250. You're not going to buy again until it breaks 3,250 and hits 3,000. So all this money will be piling up, and you'll be adjusting your positions for these buys as we get lower. So these buys will be larger due to the fact, I'm just drawing obviously random lines here. Your buys here will be larger because of all this cash position that you've been accumulating. So let's say you were going to buy 100, 100, 100, 100, maybe now it's 200, 200, 200, 200. That way all of your new stuff, all of your new money can be better well spent as we go lower. Now you can do it every 2 weeks like that. The issue with that is that your average cost basis is going to be a lot higher than it could be if you were to employ a strategy such as this. It does require you to manually do something, but if you can't manually do something twice a week, then, well, how the hell can you trade? How the hell can you trade if you can't, manage positions like that? So I think that's a cool way to do it. It's a good way to make sure that your average cost basis is as low as possible. People say dollar cost averaging in the stock market. Put your money away every paycheck in the stock market. I completely agree with that. This is a different scenario, however. I mean, we all pretty much understand and believe and think and want us to go lower at this stage of the game so we can get that ultimate low print. And I think that's the way to handle that. In the stock market, like we just had a bear market, we just came out of the bear market. I still actually think you invest during the bear market. So here's the major difference between stocks and cryptos. Number one, stocks have institutional support. They have macroeconomics behind them. They have individual stock names behind them, telling their own stories. But this is the NASDAQ right here. This is the NASDAQ futures. And as a story here, this is going to curl back up at some point. This isn't going to go, we're not going to peak at 77. We're not going to go to 3,500. I mean, that's known. That's known. I really think that most people understand that. And the ones that don't, hopefully will soon or someday. But through this period here, I think you can still do some dollar cost averaging if that's what you wanted to do every single paycheck, every 2 weeks. I think that's okay because when we come back, it's not going to be that bad. Crypto's different. We're already down, what is it, 70 whatever site percentage it is or whatnot. I don't know what it is right now. And we know we're headed lower. All the signs point to lower. Until we get a reversal, I think you just plan on that. John says, what site is that? Yeah, no, this is Thinkorswim platform. You get this through TD Ameritrade. Yeah, it's pretty good software. I actually don't trade on TD Ameritrade, but I used to, and so I have a login, and so I get this. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, good software. I like it. Very, very good software. Oh, Monkeytron, don't start copying Eli with the copyright stuff now. Chris is going all in at 2,500. If that's your strategy, that's fine, as long as you understand your strategy. And the potential that we break that by 50%. You know, we could take that down to 1,200 easily. Easily. Oh, Eli got 30% on that BTT trade? Nice. Oh, you got that from my stock stream. Yeah, if you guys do like stocks, I do have a Real Stocks channel. You can go to Real-Stocks. I'm Real-Crypto on here, hopefully, as you know. And Real-Stocks is every day we talk about the market in the morning. Feel free to join me there in the mornings around the market open, where we talk about stuff and things. So what else is there to talk about? I mean, other than just the meandering of BTC price, Ethereum price. I'm really looking at Ethereum to give you some really good percentage gains once we get the big drop. Ethereum, probably Litecoin too. I don't know if I'll be shorting Bitcoin. I'll hopefully be able to get into an ETH short. That's really given us the best percentage gains. It's been able to give good profits. I haven't been shorting BTC. It's been all ETH. Christina says, stock market is still under 200 EMA and has not made a higher high yet. Is it out of bear in your opinion? Yeah, it's out of a bear market. So I was thinking about this the other day. We use terms correction, bear market, things of that nature. I follow the IBD system of market in correction or market in confirmed uptrend. Okay, the correction does not mean 15%, and there's no talk of a bear market. It's strictly uptrend or downtrend. So we actually moved back into an uptrend on this day right here. So since then, we've been in an uptrend. Okay. Nothing is really showing signs of us failing that. Today we had a pretty decently ugly day. It wasn't that bad. A lot of names took some hits, but you can see on my leaders list here. I mean, a few of them down, you know, this is the bottom of my leader list here, 21% for Proto Labs. At the top of my leader list, you know, this is sorted by percentage. So between 2 and 20% down, you go to the top, you're between 9 and basically flat. It really wasn't that bad of a day, not as much as it appears. We've had some rip-roaring rallies in these stocks. I mean, coming off these lows here, it's been tremendous. And there was a little bit of support down here. I think we're completely out. And I think, you know, just waiting for individual stocks to break out is what we're doing here. But yeah, I think we're out of it. I'm not really succumbing, and I did a little bit, and I have used the term, you know, bear market. Technically, this was in a bear market, but the funny thing is a lot of people have a hard time quantifying that, which is why I really like the cleanliness of market in correction or market in defined uptrend. When the market's in a correction, it's very risky to take positions, and you really run the risk of us taking serious hits in the market. Market in confirmed uptrend means it's safe to start taking positions again. So that's really how I view this thing. I really don't think of it in terms of bear market correction. You know, I did throw lines up. I did all that stuff with bear market and correction. I definitely get that. You know, I succumb to the hype too. But in reality, I think if you view it in terms of market and correction or market and confirmed uptrend, I think it's a lot cleaner. And I think you don't get hung up on labels, because labels really can't make you any money. I mean, in the end of the day, labels are not going to make you money. It's like your boss walking into your office and go, you know what? Today you're the vice president of sales, and walks out. It's like, did I get a raise? No, you didn't get a raise. You just got a new title. And so I think those monikers are the exact same situation. It's, the market going, hey, you know what? Now we're in a bear market. Oh, okay. What does that mean? I don't know. Just you're doing the same job. It just kind of changed the title. So don't get caught up with correction, bear market, things of that nature. Really think about the macroeconomic picture and market uptrend and market in general correction. So anyway, in terms of bear market, I guess that would be my answer. Is it doesn't matter, but I do think we're in a confirmed uptrend. I do think we're in a confirmed uptrend coming out of a bear market. So, but yeah, it's funny. Like when you think of bear market, people say, "Oh, we're in a bear market." Well, what does that mean? How do you handle a bear market? If you don't know how to handle a bear market, what's the point of calling it a bear market if you literally have no rules around that? So that, yeah, I really like the cleanliness of correction and marketing confirmed uptrend. I really enjoy that. Isn't there a name for a bear market starting and a kind of big dead cat bounce? So we can go back into a correction. Okay, I mean that's fully possible. There's nothing stopping the market from doing that. As a matter of fact, from here, if it wanted to, we had some pretty weak days here in terms of volume on the futures, and then we have a very large distribution day. That's what this day would be considered, a distribution day. We could end up rolling over, but there's only now there's going to be 2 distribution days on the S&P and 1 on the NASDAQ. Okay, those distribution days is what puts you into a correction. See all these red days? These are all distribution days. These are what gave us the catalyst to really go cash up here as the market started to tank. All right, it's not always that pretty. In this case, it was, but now we have a market uptrend. So I don't play forecaster up here. I look at the charts. If things start breaking, I'll start exiting positions. But until they do that, I'm not gonna put the cart before the horse. Reading a few. I'm going to go ahead and read some of these comments here coming through. Zizo says the price of BTC does not include OTC. Banks, big institutions, governments could be accumulating BTC. So would that show on prices finally? So here's the thing with the over-the-counter market. The over-the-counter market, they don't use different pricing from you and I. They use the same pricing. If you're an institution and you're going to buy something over-the-counter, are you going to pay more than $33.61 right now? You're not. So it's not like they're accumulating massive positions behind the scenes. Now, they could be, and there always has to be a seller to the buyer too. That's the thing. The seller wants to get the highest price. The buyer wants to pay the lowest price. So even on these over-the-counter exchanges, it ends up being about on par with current market prices. They just don't want to run the price up. That's the whole point of the OTC. You're not going to get a big bump in price, or you're not going to see all this hidden accumulation. You would see it in the wallets in Bitcoin, which I don't believe we're doing that. So, or I don't believe we're seeing that. But yeah, they could be. But again, go look at the gold wallets, go look at the storage, and see what's what. I don't think there's a lot of that going on right now. It could be wrong. I haven't done that analysis myself. If you have that inclination, the tools are online there for free to go ahead and do that analysis. Just reading some comments here. Draw the James line on my chart. Well, it doesn't show up right now. I'd have to. Well, let me go to the. I'd have to go to the daily time frame probably to get that. Actually, that's almost it right there. This, I believe, is my line for the prior high from 2013, whatever it was. Yeah, 2013. That's the prior high in 2013. So that's where we could be going. Yeah, you just don't always see it. It is quite a bit lower, but it's there. It's there. Are ETH and Litecoin still smart buys? Well, with the market, really, potentially rolling over. I don't see a lot of accumulation on Litecoin here. That's, another issue for this being a bottom. There's no major accumulations, so it really doesn't look like it. We also have a trend line, this blue one, that's been in line since the top. I'm on log scale chart. That's going to matter. And that's been in play the whole time. So no, I don't think these are really good for buys. I mean, look, if we end up going sideways out of this for the next couple of months, there's a decent possibility that we could reverse out of this, but nothing yet really shows that. And yeah, Chris is correct. You got to have Bitcoin reverse or show a reversal or something before you can start getting happy about the alts again. ETH for a minute, was in the beginning of 2018 was looking like it was gonna outperform BTC and kind of do its own thing. There we are. Like throughout here, because I believe Bitcoin bottomed right or topped right there where my cursor is. You can see we ended up going higher for the next month and a half before it finally gave it up, and then when it gave it up, it really gave it up. So ETH also not really leading higher. So yeah, potential that we get a rollover here pretty soon. There's just been really just the amount of lack of buying is quite tremendous for how little downside movement we've had. Usually when buyers step aside this hard, the market moves pretty quickly. That's usually what happens. But so far we're able to kind of hold up. I think there's just a lot of traders in here trading volumes and kind of, trying to short and covering and shorting and covering, and you never do get to know the reasons why things happen. They just kind of happen, and you can do your best, but at the same time, all you got to say is this is really, really weak. Even this nice little rally here, the volume really wasn't that much. Look at my volume aggregation tool on the daily. It barely even moved the needle. You can't even tell that there was an uptrend right there. Not really. Not really. So how long and for how BTC should be to clean the market of 89% garbage that is holding the space? So here's the thing about everyone talks about all the crap coins have to go away. I don't think they do. I don't think the crap coins have to go away. I think they can stay in the market. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, it's not like these aren't businesses. These are essentially copied forked programs is what they are. So as long as there's a node running somewhere on someone's laptop, and as long as an exchange will keep them on the exchange, they can exist. So I don't think a lot of the crap coins are going to go away. Look, it's not like we're going to end up with, we've got 2,058 cryptos. We're not going to end up with 100 good cryptos. It's not just going to go from 2,000 to 100. It's going to stay 2,000. It's going to increase. There's going to be, look, I guarantee there's entities with 100, 200, 300 different cryptos that they've ICO'd, that they've gone public with, and that they're making money off of. And they're going to hold those servers open and available so that the exchanges think that it's a viable network. And it makes perfect sense from a business perspective. If your entire business was just spinning out ICOs and spinning out cryptos for one reason or another, you're going to keep those up and they're going to be around. So I'm not really a believer that we have to clear out all of the fluff. I've heard that more times than I care to admit, and it sounds good, but like I said, what's going to happen? Are you hoping one day to wake up and see 100 coins? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to see thousands of coins. It's just like in the stock market. They have the NASDAQ and the NYSE. Or I'm sorry, you have the NASDAQ and the American Stock Exchange, the NYSE. Okay, those are your major exchanges for trading stocks. To get on those, you have to meet certain criteria. You have to meet market cap requirements, price requirements, probably liquidity requirements. I don't know all of them, but you have to check all the boxes. With crypto, what do you got to do? Hope you get, let's go ahead and look at the top 100 crypto exchanges that CoinMarketCap. La Token, Xrates. Let's go look at some more garbage ones. Luno. All you have to do is get on one of these stupid exchanges and maybe get listed on CoinMarketCap, and you're legit. That's it. Just a couple of web-based companies can make you a legitimate coin. So I don't think we're going to lose most of these. I think most of these are going to stay. Look at that. That's funny. That's hilarious right there. Thoughts about the halving? I think that could have a decent impact on price. I do, and it could be positive, not necessarily because it's more scarce of a resource, but because the miners have less to sell, and so that will limit supply on the market. So that's really why I think. In terms of how long and how low, Zizo, I'm not. I like I said, in terms of how low, I think Bitcoin's going to be that benchmark. Bitcoin is going to give you the low price. You're not going to find a low print on any other one that is legitimate. We've already seen low prints in all these, but Bitcoin still rules the roost. So there's a good possibility we do go down and test those really, really low levels of 1,100. Around that level, 1,200. And that'll take the rest of the coins right down there with it. Litecoin, you'll be pretty close to single-digit Litecoin. ETH, you'll be pretty close to 20, potentially $50, $20 ETH. I mean, it's real, man. It's going to get real quick. Do you think the immaturity of us BTC traders might drag out the period before capitulation? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the immaturity of traders. It may just be, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't have a great answer to that question. What I do know is that a vast majority of trading is done by retail traders in BTC. There's not that many large whales or institutions really trading the market. So this is very psychology driven. And I think that's really what is the main impetus here, is the psychology. And everyone's holding on for dear life because that's been the moniker, HODL, right? Hold on for dear life. But they're holding on for dear life, and you're just seeing people start to sell, trying to recoup some of their investment. And when that happens in the flash and everyone's ready to throw in, that's when the capitulation occurs. So Anon mentions the Mt. Gox trustee cashed out $600 million and said that he did an OTC. Oh, back at 10K in May. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe either way. Top three coins: Bitcoin, Ripple, and probably Ethereum. I mean, I got to stay with the top ones there. Tron's really held up really well, but if I were to put money at work, I don't know if it would. I don't know if it'd be able to be in Tron. It would really have to be BTC. It's going to go down the least out of all of these. I think Ripple has a very valid and real-world use case that in time will be valuable. It's holding up really, really well also. And a third would have to be harder. BTC and XRP are pretty easy calls for me because they're the big boys. Ethereum is a really close third. It's a really, really, really close third. I'd like to go to XMR, but it's not showing a lot of leadership right now. It's actually drifting lower, so maybe it will lead us lower. And the other one, actually, believe it or not, would have to be Bitcoin Cash. Although since the fork, or even since before the fork, it's really been behaving badly. This thing used to have really good price percentage gains on it. Not so much anymore. But I'm kind of waiting and watching. Bitcoin is capable, or Bitcoin Cash, capable of having these huge moves, and we're just not quite seeing that anymore. In terms of an actual platform coin, I haven't done enough research in the past couple of months to form an opinion, but I do think Ethereum, I think they'll fix their scaling issues. I like EOS. I like EOS in terms of what it's capable of. Whether it'll actually happen or not is a different issue. You're seeing good things out of Tron that look okay, but Tron has its own issues, so it's still a very immature ecosystem. There's nothing major, but I'd say my best coins are the ones that I think I'm not going to be destroyed in. Nem 3 million%. Right, Monkeytron? That's crazy, right? When Bitcoin capitulated the last time, did the alts? You know, honestly, I've never actually looked into that. I got to be quite frank with you. I did look back in the day at. So one thing we can do is we can go over here to CoinMarketCap. Oh, services is new. That's interesting. We can go to historical snapshots. We can go to, I think it bottomed in January of 2015. That's when I think the bottom was 264. So we have XRP was around, Litecoin, Paycoin, BitShares, MadeSafe, Next, Stellar, Doge, Peer, Counterparty. All these coins. Hey, Mexican Charlie Lee. No, believe it or not, I'm actually having a pretty good day, and I just thought I'd jump on and do a live stream. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. So here are your ones from back in the day. So, I mean, you can ask yourself if Stellar, I'm not sure if it shows the data from back then. Yeah, it looks like it does. See if BTC bottomed yet here. It doesn't look like it did. Now it looks like it. Oh, this doesn't give me data all the way back then. Okay, for some reason I thought it did. Anyway, yeah, you can kind of do some own analysis. Look at that Paycoin down 65% in 7 days. That's amazing. So you can go back and kind of see what was what possibly in terms of CoinMarketCap to see how that worked out week by week. It looks like. Why did Coinbase add 0x? Do they know something we don't? I don't know anything about 0x. So yeah, I think it's District X if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken. Yeah, ZRX. Yeah, they added it a while ago. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure why. They talk about they only allow certain coins in, and then they just started dumping like weird coins in. Like I think BTS is in there. I'm like, what is BitShares doing in Coinbase? It makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a great answer for that one. Not going extreme. Eli, just a normal stream today. Just jumping on. I'm probably actually going to stop it in the next little bit. I do want to get back to what I was doing before, but I was going to do a public video, and I really wanted to just jump on live. Yeah, it could be, Chris. Could be. Todd, no, I don't know anything about that. We noticed that this morning, but there's been nothing that I found in terms of why Vertcoin would do that. It's a huge move. Oh, HOT's up 39%. Wow. That's a huge gap. That's a huge gap. I'd like to see the order book on that thing. I didn't think there was another one that was up over like 15% or 20% AST right there. We talked about that a little bit ago. Where'd it go? Where did it go? There it is. Yeah, Vertcoin 56%. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Not sure why. I don't know. But the volume on it's been really spectacular. Look at at least on the 1 hour. On the 2 hours, a little different story. It's a little more mixed. On the 15 minute, it's also mixed. You can see right there my volume aggregation tool. The green implies more buying. The red implies more selling. And it's pretty mixed on the 15 minute. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, gaps are tough, man. In stocks, it's a little difficult to trade them. Little difficult to trade them. That's why earnings season is always a hoot. So anyway, guys, I think I am going to head out of here. I'll give you guys give you a minute or so to get any last minute questions in if you want me to look at something for you. I'll go ahead and do that. But other than that, I think I'm going to get out of here. Just want to stop in, say hi, and talk about, I guess, a little bit about Bitcoin and how it's probably just going to roll over. When do I think the market's going to start crashing? I'm starting to short it. I don't think we're going to. I don't think it's going to crash as of yet. And I don't necessarily form opinions like that on the overall index in the stock market. So I don't have a really good opinion for you on that one. I look at distribution days is what I look at. So I don't see a lot of distribution days in the market, so I really can't call that for crashing quite yet. See, I haven't heard about that at all, so I don't have any opinion about that. Cruise in my green Lambo. Yeah. Yeah, no green Lambo. Nor would I ever buy a green Lambo. I'd have to have a lot of money for me to buy a green Lambo. I mean, a lot of money. So. All right, guys, not too many questions coming through here, so I'm going to bounce. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Probably do a public video in the next day or two. We were going to put one out over here, but I kind of forgot about it. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining me today. See you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.